Our Sun is a G-type main sequence star, a yellow dwarf. Formed around 4.6 billion years ago, it outputs 3.8 times 10 to the 26 watts. Which is almost as hot as After Effects makes your GPU when rendering this. Hey and welcome to Makin Space. Our Sun makes up 98.8% of the total mass of the solar system. Its radius is 109 times that of Earth's. It's the Sun. Brightest thing you'll ever see. Normally at this point in the video I'd talk about who discovered it, offer some little known anecdotes, but it's the Sun. So let me talk about me instead. Back in 2019 when I decided to start making regular tutorials, Makin the Sun was my first video. In that video, I showed how to combine Video Copilot's Orb with Video Copilot's Seamless Sphere Texture and Saber, which is a free plugin from a website called Video Copilot. The result is pretty good, I think, but it bothered me that I couldn't get 3D flares coming off its surface. So for the last 4 years, I've been experimenting with different techniques. No luck using Orb, I'm afraid, but if you have Element 3D, then that's what I'm going to show here. I think it's likely you could reproduce this method in both Helium X's Helium and Cinema 4D Lite, but I find Element easiest to work with. So here's my HD comp, and the first part is very similar to the original tutorial. We need to make some noise.
Make some noise!
Yes, well, create a new solid by going to Layer, New, Solid. Make it comp sized and click OK. Then go to Effect, Noise and Grain, Fractal Noise. Set the type to Dynamic Twist, and expand Transform. Drop the scale to 50, and then expand Subscaling. Up the influence to 80%, and set the sub-rotation to 180. You see how this affects the look of the noise, making it twistier. Now hold Alt and click on the Evolution stopwatch and type time times 150. Which gives us this evolving churning surface. But we're not done yet. Select the whole effect and go to Edit, Duplicate, which gives us a copy of the effect on the same layer. To see the two effects interact, scroll down to the bottom of Fractal Noise 2 and change the blending mode to Screen. Back at the top, change the type to Dynamic, set the contrast to 230 and drop the brightness to -80. So we're getting these bright spots appearing, almost like wave caps. In Transform, bring the scale back up to 100. And then edit this effect's evolution so that it's time times 100. Now go to Effect, Distort, Offset. And change Shift Center 2 to be the width of your comp. If you've not used HD, but for me that's 1920. As you can see, that gives us this ugly seam, which was there before but hidden at the edges. So let's select the layer and duplicate it, either by going to Edit, Duplicate, or by holding Ctrl and tap D. On this new layer, delete the offset effect, and then go to Effects, Transition, Linear Wipe. Set the transition complete to 30% and the feather to 80. I think this gives a better result than using a mask. The blending line fades better. So duplicate Linear Wipe and change the angle to -90. So we cut off both edges. Neat. Make sure both these layers are selected and right click and choose Precompose. And call it Awesome Fractal Noise Texture Without Edges. Or maybe just Sun Text. And you can turn off the visibility. Create a new solid. Hit enter and rename it to Element. And guess what effect we're adding now? That's right. Go to Effect, Expression Controls, Checkbox Control. Hit enter and rename this to Sun. Then duplicate it and rename this one to Flares. Duplicate it again and call this one Magnetic Fields. Duplicate again and call this one Flames. And one last time and call it Big Flare. Trust me, this little bit of prep work is worth it. we're going to link Element's group visibility controls to these so we can easily turn each off as we need to. Now go to Effect, Video Copilot Element, and let's expand it on the timeline until you can see Group 1's enable. And use the pick whip to link this to the Sun checkbox, and repeat for each of the other groups. Next, expand Custom Layers and then Custom Texture Maps, and set Layer 1 to Sun Text. Finally, we're ready to go into Scene Setup. And from here, create a new sphere. I set my size to 5 and the segments to 96. Now if your graphics card will crash at any time, I found it's when I'm in Scene Setup, so make sure you save regularly. For the material, take a look at the bright light in physical presets, and drag that onto your sun sphere. Let's tweak its settings. In illumination, set our custom layer. Scroll down and drop glossiness, specular and environment each to 0%. Scroll down to illumination, and for the Fresnel, change the amount to -0.45. It just brightens the edges a little. But if I scrub the sphere model around, you'll see the top isn't great, all stretched. So in the Scene tab, click on the Sun model and scroll down to the Edit tab until you can see UV mapping. And change the type to Sphere. That stretching is still there, but less so. You could spend ages making a seamless sphere texture. In the past I've used Andrew Kramer's, and I've also played around with VR Fractal Noise, but honestly I've found it easier and less system taxing to ignore it. And being the Sun, if you need a close-up shot of the top, just rotate the sphere. So yay! But maybe meh. But let's start building on this. Create a new comp. I made mine 1000 by 1000 pixels. And call it Flare Text, or I don't know, awesome flary texture. And now make a new black comp size solid. We'll leave this as our background. So now duplicate the layer, and to this one add a new Fractal Noise effect. Set the type to swirly, the contrast to a whopping 280 and the brightness to -150. Expand and uncheck uniform scaling, and set the width to 50 and the height to 600, so we get these strands of plasma. To make it move, hold Alt and click on the offset and type square brackets 0, time times 100, close square brackets. This automates the noise moving on the screen. And on the evolution, add in a time times 100 as an expression. Okay, to see this on our Sun, drag your Flare Text comp into the main comp and turn it off. Then in Elements Custom Layers, set Layer 2 to the Flare Text comp. And using our checkbox, turn the Sun off and turn the flare on. And go into Scene Setup. Create a new sphere, drag it out of the group folder and set its group to 2. Rename this to Flare. And set its segments to 96. Uncheck the scale and set its X and Z dimensions to 40% and set its Y to 180%. In the materials section, rename the bright light texture to Sun by right-clicking on it. Then right-click on it again and choose Duplicate. Rename Sun Copy to Flare and drag this onto the Flare sphere. Now go to the texture, material, whatever, and change its illumination to Custom Layer 2. Then scroll down to Advanced and change its blend mode to Add, which gets rid of the black. But the texture is all around the sphere and I only want it on the outer edge. So leave the Scene Editor. In Element, expand Group 2 and expand Particle Look, expand Deform, and then Bend. Enable Bend, and change the bend axis to Y and set the bend angle to 330 degrees. And because I've jumped ahead to check this, set the bend direction to -90. When we come to make copies across the sphere, we'll need these settings. But to only show the outer edge, how do we know which part of the texture to use? In the Flare text comp, I added numbers in a grid. And then jumping back to the main, we can see that it's the right column, 3, 6 and 9. So back in the Flare text comp, on the top Fractal Noise layer, add a mask. Make sure there's plenty of room above and below, which means you can feather it. The lower black solid is there because element which uses your GPU can get confused by alpha channels, so this ensures we can feather the Fractal Noise's mask. To distribute across our sun, turn the sun back on. You see, the checkboxes do make this easy. Then in Group 2's Particle Replicator, set the particle count to 20, and the type of replicator shape to sphere, and set the shape scale to 25 to 28-ish. I could have used the replicator shape option and set to 3D objects and set the sun sphere to be a replicator shape. If I do set the sun this way, it doesn't render. It just becomes usable for the other objects to appear on. Massive thanks to Reddit user Burner account, who helped me find this after it had moved compared to the help docs. And actually, while I'm thanking people, I need to say a big thank you to Madly, whose coffee donations gave me the caffeine push to figure this out. Collapse Particle Replicator and Expand Particle Look. Up the particle size random to 100%. If some of your loops are off the surface, just reduce the size of the shape scale back in Particle Replicator. While we're here, go back into the distort settings and enable noise. Set the type to 3D distortion, set the amount to 30% and check the randomize box. And let's add a time times 100 to the evolution too. By previewing that, you can see we get the awesome flowing loops. Now let's create some smaller magnetic bursts. In the project window, duplicate the Flare text comp and double click this. Then go into its composition settings and rename it to magnetic text. On the Fractal Noise layer, delete the mask. And I'm going to drop the contrast down to 240 and the brightness to -180. And in Transform, I'll drop the width to 20. So we get a much more streaky look. And for my comp, I'm going to turn on the numbers here. In the main comp, drop in the magnetic text comp and turn it off. And in element settings, add this as a custom texture. And use the checkboxes to turn off everything and turn on magnetic. And go into scene setup. Create a torus. Set it to group 3. Ring radius 1 to 0.3 and radius 2 to 0, which will reset to 0.01. And the sides to 96. Possibly not needed, but we don't want straight lines here. Unlock the scale padlock and drop the Y scale to 40%. Duplicate the flare texture and rename it to maglines. And drag this onto the torus shape. And change its illumination to custom layer 3. And now we can see the top row is what we want visible. So click OK and leave the editor. Back on our mag text comp, mask off the top section with a heavy feather. But then, when we return to our main comp, instead of making all those awkward adjustments again, in Group 2, scroll down to Group Utilities and expand Copy Paste Group, and click on Copy. Collapse Group 2 and expand Group 3 to the same section, and choose Paste. In Distort, disable Bend, we don't need that. And at the top of Particle Look, I'll just increase the size for the moment. And then I'll expand Particle Rotation and set the X rotation to 90 degrees. so the plasma is geysering out. And I can see I need to adjust the overall sphere's size. If I turn flares back on, you'll see these donuts are in the same place. In Particle Replicator, I'll just spin the rotation values. And I'll up the particle count to 30. And maybe increase the size. These geysers are more subtle. Okay, one last group to create. I grab this fire off production crate, #not-an-ad. And in After Effects, I'm just going to right click on it in the project panel and choose Interpret Footage Main. I'll then tell it to ignore the alpha channel, and I'll set it to square pixels. Why not? And now I'll make a new comp, 480 by 480 and the same length as my other comps. And call it Flame. And drag in the production crate video. It doesn't quite loop, so I'll trim the first section off. And now I'll go to Layer, Time, Enable Time Remapping, and set a keyframe for the first frame. Then hold Alt and click on the stopwatch and type loop out with a capital O, brackets, quotes, cycle, comma, 1. And make sure you close brackets too. The 1 tells After Effects to look at the last keyframe and the previous one for the cycling animation. Now, it's not perfect, and I shared a tutorial about creating a perfect loop from footage, which is linked in the description. But I think it's fine for our purposes. So next, drag this comp into our main comp, turn it off and set it as a custom layer. But then duplicate this comp twice and shift their starting points a few frames. And add these as their own custom layers. Now go into Element Scene Setup and create a new sphere. Set it to be Group 4. Then duplicate one of the flare textures and change the illumination to the first of the flame custom layers. Set the sphere's diameter to 0.5 and the segments to 32. Unlock the scale and set X to 150% and then Y to 200%. Then rotate the sphere so the flame appears on top. Y is -90, as is Z. And now for another clever bit. Duplicate the sphere model. Duplicate your flame texture and set its custom layer to the second flame texture, and add this to the duplicate. And repeat once more for the third texture. Because all three models are in the same group, Element will display a different model each time, cycling through them. And with each having a slightly different flame showing, we then fake some randomness. Leave the editor and once again copy Group 2's settings, this time pasting them into Group 4. Disable the bend option again. The distortion helps disguise the fact that these are produced from a 2D image, and you might need to check the evolution expression is still running. And up the replicator count as high as your computer can manage. Also, if the flames are moving too fast, like mine are, you can go into the Flames comp and just drag the second time remap keyframe. And while you're here, right click on the file and choose Frame Blending Pixel Motion. This makes the footage look really odd, but it kinda works when viewed in the main comp. And don't forget to spin the rotation a bit too. Let's turn everything on and see what we've got. Yeah, we can do better. In the element layer, go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and add a channel blur. And set the alpha blurriness to 5, just to soften the edges. Then go to Effect, Stylize, Glow. Change it to alpha channel, and increase the threshold to 100%, and the radius to 270, and the intensity to 1.4. Set colour A to an orange. I went with FFA 800. And colour B to a red. FF2901. Oh, one thing. Back in Element, in World Transform, click Create Null, and rename this to Sun Null. Next, create a new solid. Make it the same colour orange that's in the glow. 1000 pixels by 1000. Call it Corona, or maybe safer these days to call it Photosphere. Select the Ellipse Mask tool and double click it to add a circular mask to our photosphere layer. Expand the mask and set the feather to 250 and the expansion to -250. Now make it a 3D layer and parent it to our sun null. Then go to Layer, Transform, Auto Orient and set it to always face the camera. Set its blending mode to screen, then scale it up until it covers the sun. And that's it! Group 5 is still free for you to use for a large flare or a planet in near orbit. You might find a better fire than the one in Production Crate. I have some old stock footage which I prefer. But whatever you choose, you now have a 3D sun ready for you to fly around. And if you like this video, you should definitely check out how I made a black hole in After Effects with no plugins.